And here we are. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing today? Hope everybody is well. And here we are. It's Friday already. Man, crazy. Busy day, actually. Really busy day. Um, Rob got in last night, and then Sandy got in this morning. And so we had to, well, we didn't have to do anything, but we did. Sandy had ordered 4 bats of insulation. Well, she can't fit them in her car. So we had to go and pick them up. We'll get into all that in just a second. I'll share all that with you in just a second. But anyway, before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we are not going to tolerate that. So just putting that out there ahead of time. Again, if you have a comment, you want it to stand out for me, all cap locks, please. It really makes it easier for me to really see it if you want something to stand out, if you're just not chatting in the chat. If you really want me to see something, if you do that, I see it better. Okay. Also, like I said, it's just if you are just coming in, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. Again, it does make a huge difference with the algorithms, so I thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well, and I thank you ahead of time for that. So, anyway, so when Sandy got here, we headed out, and we went and we had to go to Lowe's for to get her insulation. And so while we were at Lowe's, she says, "Well, I want to get another propane tank." And I said, "Okay." So she picked up a propane tank there. I said, "Get an empty one because we'll take it to my guy and he'll fill it completely. And it's like $15 as opposed to what they would charge and only give you like an 80% full tank if you got one that full." So she's like, "Okay." So she buys the tank there as well. So then I needed to stop at Tractor Supply because the puppies, like for some reason, they like to eat. They're really growing fast. So I picked up 2 more bags of dog food for them there, and so got that, and then just trying to get everything squared away. So then when we were there, we were looking. They had the chickens, but they had just a few chickens, and they were already sold. So we were like, okay, that it is what it is, and they still had ducks, and I think they had game hens there, Cornish hens or something like that. So then we decided we wanted to go over to Rule King, and so we went to Rule King from there, and got and when we got into Rule King, we at Tractor Supply was it no Lowe's. At Lowe's we looked at the fruit trees to see what the fruit trees were. The fruit trees at Lowe's were like $32, and then we went to Rule King, and what they had peach trees, plum, and apple trees at Lowe's. Okay, so then when we went to Rule King, we're like, well, we're coming back through that way. We'll stop at Rule King. So we stopped there, and when we got there, they had chickens. So they had just got them in. So we decided, yes, we're going to get chickens. We were talking about it. Right now, like I said, they're in the battery room. We got them in a tote, and we got the heat lamp on them. So they're good to go at the moment. So that's a good thing. And so but anyway, so while we were there, like I said, we got the stuff for that, and then Sandy's going to take them with her when she leaves, because she's going to have them all in the same thing, and then when she comes back, they'll take like 2 months to feather out, and when she after 2 months she's going to bring 10 back, and it depends on how many make it. We got 25 chickens altogether, so if 5 of them don't make it, we'll figure that all out. Maybe she brings me back 8 hens, or whatever, and hopefully they're all hens. We don't know that either, so we'll see. We'll see how that all goes. But so we got that, and and then when we were at Rule King, uh, we were looking at the fruit trees over there, and the fruit trees over there were like $41. And then I was like, oh, look at this! I got the blueberry bushes, and they good sized blueberry bushes. I'm just starting to feel this whole Trump thing may be a trap. I don't know. Do you think they are just playing us on both sides? Well, first of all, I am hopeful. Okay, as far as that goes with Trump, I am hopeful that it looks at this point like he's doing what he should be doing. Okay, what he said he was going to do. At the end of the day, I don't care if it's a Democrat. I don't care if it's a Republican. They're going to take care of their rich friends. They always do. Okay, so I mean, you have to expect that. So it's not a uniquely Trump thing. But they're always going to take care of their friends and their allies. Obviously, there's a lot of games going on. The left is grandstanding and playing their games, but they're not offering any solutions. They don't have any solutions. I like the fact that they're going after finding out where the fraud and the waste are. I think that's important to do. Downsizing government, I think that's a great thing as well. So, even though you have the left clamoring and trying to use fear tactics and, oh my God, he's going to raid Social Security and all this type of stuff, I'm in a wait and see kind of mode. What I see so far, I'm happy with it. That's what I'm going to say. I mean, some people may not be. Oh, well, not pleasing everybody. Just like on here. But Steve always busts my chops. He's always, what, you got 100,000 people watching the channel. You can't make everybody happy. And you have to look at it like that. You're never, ever going to make everybody happy. That's just the way it goes. But going back to what I was going to say, so they had nice sized blueberry bushes for $15 a piece. So we ended up getting 6 of those to bring back, and they're going to get planted tomorrow. Um, but really super excited about that as well. So I'm really happy. It's all looking pretty good as far as that goes. So then when we got back here, which you will see tomorrow, Rob and I loaded up some stone that we out of one of the piles in 6 buckets, took it down to the first turn, put those in, and then the bank, and you'll see all that tomorrow, is just loaded with the stone that washed out. So we took a lot of that stone and also put that into the driveway so that when everybody was coming in, they're not dealing with the dip, because the dip had gotten pretty good, because things had settled down. And the water's still going. It's washing through the gravel, but it's getting there. I think it's warmer now than it was earlier. Let me take a look. I'll tell you what the temperature is. Yeah, right now it's saying it's 43 degrees. So not bad. I mean, not bad at all. So, um, but yeah, so we're just, we Rob and I worked on that. That's another project that we're going to be working on. Do some more of that tomorrow as well. There's a little bit of, a lot of little things that we're going to be doing to get things kind of straightened out and squared away here. And with the blueberry bushes, now that's a new project that's going to get done tomorrow, and that's okay too. But yeah, we're really things are looking good as far as that goes. We're getting, the weather's going to start changing here. Obviously, it's going to, like, by midweek we're going to be in the 70s down here, so that's awesome. And if you guys remember last year when I went to go look for blueberry bushes, you couldn't get any. Not down here, I couldn't. They were sold out. There was nothing available. So when I saw that they had blueberry bushes and they were available, I was like, oh my God, yes, let's go ahead and do that. And so, I think, I'm not sure how many we got up there already. We might have like 9 bushes already, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to go up and look. But yeah, it's just, we're starting getting the process of things that we need to get done down here done, making things better. And like I said, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you can afford to do it this year, wherever you are, if you have a place that you can do it, um, if you can add your fruit trees, add your blueberry bushes, add like asparagus, those type of things, anything that's a perennial. Um, Thank you, JJ. I saw that comment. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, but anything like that, that's going to help you, a perennial, something that's going to come back year after year after year. If you can get those in place in their where you're at, that's a good thing. We're probably going to try to add more fruit trees this year. We're going to talk about that this weekend. About going and getting more trees and getting them in here. I think that that's an important thing as well. So just steady adding on to what we already have. We already have 3 cherry trees. Um, we have 5 pear trees. We lost 1 pear tree. Hey Pam, at how much more people would you like to have in your group, and how much space do you have for housing? Great question, Pam. Thank you for asking that, and thank you very much for the donation. Um, so, as far as more people in the group, how many more? I don't have like a set number that I would say this is it. We're not going on beyond that. So, it really depends. If qualified people want to come in and they're bringing something to the table, we definitely will consider, adding on, above whatever number we don't really have. Like I said, we really don't have a set number, but we definitely would look at each case person to person of like that as far as our group goes. And as far as places to do buildings, we have a ton. I just want to say thank you, Ed. I've been a subscriber for a few years, and your character is gold. I find peace and joy watching. Well, Benjamin, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. Um, but going back to Pam, the rest of her question, all around this whole mountain on both sides, it can be built anywhere on the sides of the mountain. So there's lots of areas that we could continue to build, and I would like to do that. I would like to have like layered all the way around, being able to have people having places. So it just adds different layers of protection for everybody. So we do have a lot more space that people could build on and stuff like that. Now, as far as like the meadows go, upper and lower meadow, um, on the edges, I don't have a problem. I don't want the open field to be utilized because I want to keep that free for gardens and greenhouses and more fruit trees and all those type of things. So, and again, SHTF happens. Every open space that we have will be used for gardening, and I don't want to have the open area that's going to get a lot of sunshine have a building right there. You know what I mean? So that's why when you look at where the buildings are, they're on the edges. Like where Sandy is, Sandy could have somebody on her left hand side. She could also have somebody on the right hand side. We could probably fit 2 more places in between where Sandy's and Bud's place is. So there's definitely more room if somebody wanted to be there. And then again, once you go down into the woods, there's definitely layers that people could do that. So, but like I said, we're always looking to add new people if people are interested. And it's like I said, we are a big family, and we're trying to get things squared away as much as we can. But there's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, fruit trees are really important. I will tell you what, if you guys hadn't thought about that, even when I lived in Greece, New York, if you guys remember, we had the raspberry bushes. There's another thing that I think is a really important thing to have. Getting raspberry bushes and stuff like that, getting those in, because those will just take off on their own. So those are a really good thing to have. Again, your perennials, anything that's going to grow year after year after year. Like I said, the blueberry bushes are awesome. Fruit trees are great because especially they're going to take a few years to produce. Now I can't wait to see what we get this year as far as peaches, what we get with apples, what we get with pears. We got a good amount of cherries last year. So I definitely want to see what our production is this year with that. But again, listen to me, and this is really good advice because I've done it the wrong way. I did it the wrong way in New York. I bought little sapling trees in the very beginning. It took years before we got anything off of those trees. Now, last year, Heather said the pear trees, they got buckets of pears off the pear trees last year, buckets. So that was really cool to hear. But it took a long time for them to get there. When you buy a more mature tree, so if you buy a tree that's already 5, 6 years old, um, like I said, we got fruit last year off of, not a lot, but we did get some fruit last year. I anticipate that this year we'll get more. As the trees mature and get bigger, we're going to get more again. So that's all part of the process. You want to have things that are going to be available to you when you can't go out and get them anymore. And so to be able to have, and here's the other part of that, okay? So let's say, you know, SHTF happens and we have the 4 peach trees and we got the cherry trees and they get bigger and we're getting a good abundance off of them. It gives us an opportunity to can, to be able to stock away so that we don't just have that fruit while it's in season. So you're supposed to have each variety in 3. I don't know when I didn't know that when I bought my cherry trees. Yeah, well, like I said, we bought the 3 cherry trees at one time. I definitely would like to add more cherry trees because I love cherries. And like I said, we're just slowly, each year. Like last year, we bought the plum trees. If you guys remember, I think we put in 3 plum trees last year, and the year before was when we put in the peach, the pear, the cherry, and the apple trees. So this is going to be year 3 for the fruit trees. So we'll see how that all pans out. I think we're probably going to get a decent amount, from everything this year, and not a huge. I'm not saying we're going to get bushels full, but we should do better this year than we did last year. Well, time will tell. The weather's going to make a difference with that as well. What's the weather going to be like? Are we going to be able to do that? So, but yeah, it's just the whole process of it is just try to continue each year to expand, to add more, work on the projects that we want to work on, get things going that we want to get done, and just methodically working. There's a lot of work left to be done in the pavilion. I would like to have this year. I'll give you an example of one of the things that we would like to do. We would like to get shutters into the pavilion, get rid of the plastic, put up like a screening so that when it's summertime, we can put the shutters up, have them up so that we get the airflow through there, but not get the bugs in there. So that's a plan that we want to get done. Insulation in the pavilion, sealing up the top, and I'm not talking about insulating up in the total top, but in the ceiling, putting the floor above so that we can have storage up there, but also at the same time insulate underneath. So now it's sealed off. So when we fire up the wood stove in the middle of winter and we close the shutters, it's going to be way better for us as far as staying warm in there when we're working in the wintertime. So, like I said, it's just a process we're working on. And, I just looking forward to seeing things continue to, move along as far as all that goes. So, but, we're going to get a lot of stuff done this weekend. I don't know if we're going to get into the bunker this weekend, but no water leaks in the pavilion. Nope, JJ. There's a couple of spots, like pinholes that got to just get filled in. So yeah, seal everything up right. That's what we're gonna. That's what we want to do. Because like this winter, we could get the wood stove going. Obviously, it was better than the winter before because the winter before all the eaves were open. So it definitely was better. But we really want to be able to, when we go in there in the wintertime, fire things up and have it stay warm in there so that when you're working on a project, even if it's cold out, you can work on a project, come in, warm up, and then go on about. And then when we have lunch, we can all be comfortable. And I mean, it's just being able to be out of the weather is a nice thing. Big difference from that first year that we were up here, under a canopy. If you guys remember the videos, if you go back and look at the older videos, we started out with a canopy. Mark was on the side of the hill like this in a tent, at an angle. So, it just, and now he's got the deer blind down there, and so he can go in and he can get warmed up, and he's got lights and all that. And like I said, it's just it doesn't. The biggest thing that you have to understand with any of this, um, it takes time. Nothing happens overweight, or overnight. Nothing happens overnight. So if you're working methodically at things, it comes together. It really, really, truly does. So what do we got? 217 in the chat, guys. We got 87 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. I do really appreciate that ahead of time. Also, it makes a really big difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I would ask you to shoot a thumbs up for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time for that. It wasn't Jason in a tent and the windstorm came through. Yeah, Jason actually wasn't in a tent. He was in a hammock. And I think something came in the middle of the night when he was in that hammock. I can't remember what it was, but he said, yeah, he goes, there was something out there. And he goes, I am not sure what it was. But yeah, so he was between two trees in a hammock doing sleeping that way. And I actually think Jason is. I talked to Jason. He had a prior commitment for this month, but he said he's going to try to come down next month. So hopefully you'll see Angry Prepper down here. So anybody don't know who Jason is, it's Angry Prepper. So yeah, we'll see. Oh, it was a turkey. Mark says okay. What do you think of President Trump's State of the Union address? Well, first of all, I think that the Democrats were absolutely shameful in that thing. But again, let me just say, I've seen the Republicans do the same thing when it's been a Democratic president. So again, that game is the one that they're playing all the time. Both sides play the same game. They'll give their "oorah rah" speech. Let's put it like this: action speaks louder than words for me. You can have a great speech. Obama was a great orator, a great orator. Make this one a beer. Okay, Ricky Bobby, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the donation. Um, Obama was a great orator. Did he get anything done? No. You know what I mean? So, it's just they're all playing games, folks. Every single one of them, and that's why I'm trying to explain to people how important it is not to go, oh, Trump's in, everything's going to be great. He can't fix this overnight. I mean, the Democrats are already complaining. Oh, egg prices have gone up since he's been in office and this and that. None of this happens overnight. These things are going to take time. All the things they've had 4 years to screw everything up, which they did. Okay. And if you remember, right before Biden left office, money was going everywhere. They were giving money out like it was candy, except to us, of course. We don't get any of that money. But yeah, it's going to get bad before it gets better. In that, just resign yourself to that. That's what's going to happen. I saw somebody in the comments in the video that I had done, and they were like, "Oh yeah, all prices are going to increase, and Trump's base is going to feel it more than anybody else." And then I'm going to be laughing. Well, why would you ever laugh at somebody suffering? Listen, I don't want anybody to suffer. I don't care if you're on the left. I don't care if you're on the right. We need to come together as a nation realistically. Okay. Now, I can tell you, I do. Do I believe that'll ever happen? I don't. We are way too divided in this country. Okay. We're way too divided. But I would love to see us come together as a country and realize we have to do this together as a group of people to make things better. Pissing and moaning and complaining all the time does not help. Okay. It doesn't help. So, you know what? Do I believe Trump is trying? I do. And I hope, like I said, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that all the things he said he was going to do, that he's going to do. And time will tell. That's the way it goes. I mean, that's the reality. Time will tell. We will see in the long run if it does come together. I don't know if it will. I really don't. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to push. I'm going to continue to push my people because I want what I think what a lot of people don't understand, especially even people in my group don't understand. All right. The big picture is this. At the end of the day, when something happens, and I don't believe it's an if, I believe it's a when, okay? And they're here full time and they have to get here and be here full time. If their buildings are half done because they've been screwing around and not working on their stuff and not prioritizing what's important, and that's important, Okay. Making sure that they have a wood stove so that they can stay warm when the weather gets cold. All right. Making sure that they have their rain catchments set up. Now, everybody's got totes now. Okay. So everybody here, if you guys have seen, we got the wrong totes and then we got the right totes after that. Okay. So we have all these totes now. So, but how many of them are hooked up, right? We have two on the back of the wolf's lair. We have four in front of the pavilion, right? The raven's nest. Mark's got his totes hooked up now, so he's got two totes hooked up, and nobody else has any totes hooked up yet. So, that's what, we got to make sure that those things, water, power, um, you know, warmth, those are things that I really want them to make sure that they're taken care of, because you can have a building, which is great, but if you don't have that building insulated, it's going to get cold in there. So, like Sandy, actually, like I told you guys earlier in the beginning of the stream, Sandy picked up four bats. So there's eight things of insulation in each bat. So she picked up four bats today. And what I said to her, um, Ed, why did you tell your subscribers in your group that you retired from nursing when that's not true? Uh, you're taking advantage of the group. How am I? First of all, I am retired because I don't want to do it anymore. So I gave up my nursing license. So I don't know what you want to talk about with that. I made a decision, which is absolutely none of your business. Number one, and how is that taking advantage of my group? I don't understand. But you're just being a troll, which is okay. But you can think whatever you want. So I love when people do that. Thank you for telling me what I'm doing. Thank you for telling me what I'm doing. I'm like, okay. Why would you waste your time? I mean, realistically, when you're a tool bag and you want to come in here and try to cause trouble, why are you wasting your time? Mark, how dare you, Ed? That's too funny. Anyway, it's just silliness. But anyway, so what I had said to Sandy was, I said, where her building is, I said, do the wall here, do the back wall, and then come up this way and do as much as you can. And she's putting up her vapor barrier on top of that. So she was already putting insulation in, and she was trying to get her plastic up. So we like held it for her so that she could staple it in, and then she could staple down through as she was going. But I think she's going to find out by just doing that how much warmer it's going to be in her building with just having the walls like that insulated, especially when she's trying to sleep. It's going to make a big, big difference. So, again, like I said, that's great. She's moving in the right direction, which is important. And, I want everybody in the group to do that. Work on your places too. We have group things that we have to do. Like tomorrow, we have a few group things that we have to do. Once those group things are done tomorrow, then they can go ahead and start working on their places again. PN1 channels where the trolls come to expire. Well, JJ takes care of them, and the rest of my moderators will boot them out of here in a hurry. So that's awesome. JJ said, Ed, you're going to bolster up the chicken coop with new additions coming in. Yeah, what we're going to do, it'll be like 2 months before they're ready to come back. Once they get big enough, and so we're definitely going to be making a better chicken coop, in a little different run. That run is not going to be a long-term solution. It's just not. The so what I did, like what I had to run in New York, we're going to have a run like that in New York where it's open, but then we're going to have things where the chickens can get under stuff as well, so that they can, be in a, like if there's chicken hawks or whatever out there. Yeah, if Ed, do you germinate seeds or just get the plants when available? Benjamin, I have a ton of seeds already here. And actually, we've talked as a group about each year uh, getting a certain amount of seeds just to continue to make sure we have plenty, because they're only going to last for so long. Um, but while we can, right now, we'll just buy the plants. You know, germinating seeds is not hard, to be honest with you. So I mean, I've done that before, and it's not a big deal. But while we still have the convenience of being able to go ahead and just buy plants, that's what we're going to continue to do. You know, so it's like I said, we have a lot of different things that we want to do, a lot of different things we want to accomplish. Like we want to get the shower room set up this year. We want to get a greenhouse in this year. We have to, you know, work on getting more work in the bunker done this year. We want to put in another root cellar over back behind Sandy's this year. So they're, you know, and then of course the road work is never going to stop. There's always going to be patching to do and stuff like that as well. So you know, there's that, and you know, it's just it's a work in progress. All of it is a work in progress. It's all going to take time, and what we can just do, we can only do so much, you know. So that's what we're going to continue to do. The weather is going to play a factor. Obviously, if it's raining, it's kind of hard to work outside in the rain. But the other thing is, and Ronnie used to say this, okay, and this was an awesome thing that he said. He said, when SHTF happens, it don't matter if it's raining, snowing, whatever it's doing, you're still going to need to go out and do things. And I always thought that that was really cool saying what, you know, when he said that. So yeah, Ed, I'm failing at gardening. I'm trying to see where I'm failing. I want to be full organic. I will tell you right now, Benjamin, the key to being a good gardener is soil, soil, soil. Good soil, making sure you're continuing to work that soil, all those type of things. That's the key. You keep working at it, but you got to have good soil. You can't just plant something in the ground and hope that it's going to grow. You got to have the soils. It's a never ending thing with soil. So, but you know, like I said, those are one of the things that's all part of that. But yeah, so we actually, one of the things we've talked about once we get a greenhouse in is actually having a truckload of soil, good, compost brought in to get us started. Now, once we do that each year, any scraps will go into there. You know, you can take your chicken poop and stuff like that and set it to a side, let it sit for a year. The next year, it can go into the soil. You know, leaves every fall go into the soil, you know, all those type of things. Get a couple composting bins going. You can get soil going that way as well. Rabbit poop you put on right after the rabbit poops. That is going to be your best for your soil that you could possibly do. But you got to work at it. It's a work in progress. Why do you ever think, like, when you go into the woods and you get into different areas and it's really nice soil and everything grows? It's because year after year those leaves are coming down. Nobody's raking them up and taking them away and doing that. It just keeps building up, building up, building up. So, but like I said, it's a work in progress, and it takes time. It's like anything else, but you have to continue to work at it. Like I said, we're down here full time. We're That's going to be a top priority, is keeping that soil squared away. Thank you, Ed. I'm trying to learn and take care of my grandmother at the same time. Yeah, like I said, man, it's a learning process. But the thing is, as long as you're trying and you figure out wherever you are in the country what works for you and what doesn't work for you, that's the key. Look at the area of the country you live in. Find out what's the best things to grow in that area. You know, that's another part of it. You know, what's your temperature? You know, your growing zone. What, you know, and all those type of things. Those are all really really important. Hello, princess. Now you stop. Nope, stop. You've been good so far. No, you're not going out. Not now. Later. I'll let you out later. No, I can't trust you because you're naughty. You're a naughty girl, and you were just out not that long ago. You've only been in for 2.5 hours, so you're not going out. No, go on. Okay, that's it. Down, down. Anyway, now she's right back between my legs again. She's a petulant child. I will tell you that right now. So, but the biggest key, guys, I'm going to tell you, and this is just my advice to you from experience. Okay, instead of like we have a bunch of different projects that we're going to do tomorrow, so we're going to delegate, right? We're going to say, okay, these people are going to work on this, these people are going to work on that, these people are going to work on this. So that way, bunch of stuff's getting done at the same time, and you don't have three people working and the rest standing there watching. Okay, that's a big thing. But when it comes to big projects, like when we get the shower room going, that's a project that's all hands on deck, and we focus on that project until that project is done, and we can check it off of the list. So, um, Rob has a bunch of projects tomorrow. Yeah, yeah. Just Rob, not you, Mark, not you. Nope. You. I want you to sit in your building and relax. But again, if there's a project, focus on whatever the prioritize. What do I want to get done first? Now, like when we get the excavator in here, we're probably not going to have him come in until like June because June, July, and August are usually pretty dry. That is the best time for digging to be done here. We're not going to have the guy come in April because it would be a mess. Okay, so we know, we know how we need our what our weather is down here and what's the best time. Are there fruit trees available in that area mid-April? Oh yeah, yeah. Generally, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, once the fruit trees are in, they're generally in for a good long time. You don't really want to, unless you're willing to water all the time. In like June, July, we're not putting fruit trees in June or July. The fruit, like the blueberry bushes, are going to go in tomorrow, and then after the blueberry bushes are in, then we're going to be looking at probably next month adding a few more fruit trees. So we'll be discussing that when we have our meeting. And again, like I said, I always want to continue to expand and grow our perennials. I want to get an area. I tried asparagus one time. It didn't take. I didn't protect it enough, so it got eaten down by whatever. So when we tried to do the grapes, the deer came in and devastated the grapes. So I would like to get grapes in here again, but better protected. So that they get a chance to grow without being eaten by the deer. So like I said, there's things that we have to do, um, sustainability in giving us an advantage down the road. Like I had in New York when I had the grapes. Grapes came in great. They came in great every year. So, but it took a while, for them to get established. And so that's again, it's a process. It takes time. And so that's the key. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not magically everything's going to be great and all that. I heard human hair keeps deer away. Well, yeah, I'll just start, growing my hair out and just leaving that out there. Um, I won't do corn down here, Alex. There's a lot of people that grow corn, so we can always get that if we need to. Will we have corn that we could utilize to grow if we needed to? Yes, we will have that. Um, I don't hunt right now because I don't need to. So that's another part for me. Like I don't need to hunt, so I definitely love the wildlife. Do I like deer meat? Love deer meat. Okay. If I had to do it to survive, that would be an entirely different animal. I would absolutely do it to survive. So, but no, if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I got a rump roast and stuff like that. Can we cook it up and eat it?" Yes, sir. Please do. So, but uh, let's see what do we got here. Yeah, corn takes a lot of water, Mark is saying, and it does, and it draws the things that you don't want coming in. So, besides fresh food, what's your number one food, freeze dried or canned? Oh, with the freeze dried stuff, it's there's a bunch of different things. Like I said again, you got to go with what you like. Okay, So if there's a certain thing that's freeze dried that you like to eat, I would highly recommend getting that. Uh, do blueberries require full sun? We have ours out right full sun. Yes, they definitely, you want to get as much sun for them as you can. One of the things with blueberries, and I would recommend this to people too, around the base of your blueberry bush, take coffee grounds. They like a more acidic soil, so that. But that's a part of it. So coffee grounds around your bases, where you're growing your great or your blueberry bushes, that's actually going to be a really good thing for that. So it's going to help that grow better. That's why I put the blueberry bushes where I did, because they get a lot of sun in that spot, and there's no trees right there. The trees are in the backside over here, so there's no shade in that area, so they're out there in the open. So, but yeah, so that's like I said, guys. All of it is a process. It all takes time. If you work at things methodically, it gets better. And like I said, never stop learning. That's another thing, guys. Never stop learning. The more you can learn, the better off you're going to be. Like one of the things, I got a book over here about underground greenhouses. So, that's something that we definitely want to get in here this year so that we can start growing earlier in the spring, later in the fall. Certain things like kale and cabbage, they're a cold hardy crop that you can actually grow in the fall, and you should be able to, get some, and again, if it's in that controlled environment like that, it's going to be something that you're going to be able to eat. So, cabbage, kale, all that good stuff. So, and you're going to need those greens and stuff when the time comes. I honestly believe, like I said, I don't believe raspberries. Yeah, raspberries are good too. Yep, that's why I talked about that, Janita, earlier. Get your raspberry bushes planted and just let them go. So Ed can take his shaving hairs and sprinkle his plants. Yeah, right. Well, even when I trim this, I get a lot of hair off of here. This grows really, really fast. So potatoes are huge. Potatoes are a huge, huge thing. They're You can survive just by eating potatoes. And a lot of people don't know that, but just potatoes can keep you alive. Everything you need is right there. So I think having potatoes is a crop that you're growing. I think it's important because again, it lasts a good long time through the winter, and then like I said, you can always start the next cycle of growing. So a lot of things that you should be doing. Again, it depends on people. You know what I mean? Depends on what you want to do. Like I want to show you guys something. So you knew our bees did not make it. So I had to go pick up more jars today. Actually, I picked up 5 more of these 1 pound jars. So I've been processing honey. That's what I've been doing, and so then I do the bears, the little bears as well. But these are 1 pounds. These are 8 ounces. So got a bunch of those, and we're just going to sit on them. Now there's a couple of what we did before when I harvested honey last year in the fall before the bees. I figured they were going to make it. I was hoping they were going to make it, but obviously they didn't. But we ended up getting like 9.5 pounds of honey last year. And what we did is every member got a honey bear. Now there's a couple members that did not get a honey bear because they weren't here. But so anybody that did not get one is going to get one, when they come. And like I said, the rest of it we plan on just sitting on it because honey's not going to go bad, and then we'll have that available. We do plan on doing bees again this year. We've talked about that as well, and we'll be talking about that more tomorrow as well. But we do plan on getting bees again. We're going to give it another shot, and we're going to go from there, and we're going to just kind of see what happens. And you take a chance, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, well, what are you going to do? I mean, you figure uh, the amount of honey, and I probably have at least 4 more pounds to collect. I already have it filtered. Now I have. I'll show you something else too. So this is from one of the other things of honey that I did, and that's all. If you look it up here, all that up there, that's all wax. But if you look on the bottom, you see all the honey in there still. So I am going to take cheesecloth, right? Take cheesecloth. I'm going to put that all in there and let it hang and drain, so that way we can collect like all that honey that's in here. It's a lot of honey still. So that has to be processed. Here is more, okay? And I kept this in the fridge because it's harder. This is all really hard. So I'm gonna do the same thing with, and so we'll get, believe it or not, we'll get a lot of honey out of that. So, but right now it's gonna sit in the fridge and it's fine. We can utilize the wax. The wax is there to be utilized as well. So that's another good thing. But yep, somebody just said, will you render the wax? Absolutely. Yep, because we can make candles out of it. There's all kinds of stuff, that the beeswax is so awesome. The trays that are empty that I got sitting outside right now, it looks like turkey stuff, and that's funny. um, we'll take all the wax off of the trays. We can utilize that. So there's a lot. Believe it, I love bees. I think bees are awesome. um, you know when I talked to my bee guy, he was saying, it happens. Things, the bees are not always going to make it. They had plenty of food. They're, like I said, with the at least 4 more pounds that I'm going to get, and I probably may get a little bit more than that. We're going to be upwards 22, 23 more pounds of honey. Oh yeah, we'll do egg count here in just a second. I'm sorry. So think about the cost of honey. How much does honey cost? So that actually the bees paid for themselves, if you will, just with the cost of the honey. But I would rather have the bees had made it through the winter and kept going. So, but all right, let's go ahead here, guys. We got 248 in the chat. We got 140 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I thank you ahead of time. Also, Ed, you can use the beeswax to coat linen to make a refrigerator wrap for bowls, etc., and store leftover. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithm, so I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time for that. All right. How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Betty White. So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. But like when Rob and I were doing the turn, like I said, you're going to see that video tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And then we did a lot more after we turned the camera off. But, and I'll show you more of that as we go. I'll go back over there because we're going to go back up there and do some more work on that turn as well. But, it's just like I said, all of that is just a process. All right, guys. If you had the same exact guess, is Carolyn Rice. Carolyn Rice with 2 eggs today, and yes for Miss Betty White, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations to Carolyn Rice. You have won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there you are. I think she might be a first-time winner. So Carolyn, could you let us know, is that the first time that you've won? Oh, second time winning? Okay. I wasn't sure if you had won once before or not. Well, now you're a 2-time winner and defending champion at the moment. DJ, you're slacking here, my friend. DJ was on a streak last year. Like 7 out of 10, he had the right answer. So It's been quite a while. Okay. Well, congratulations. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm excited about this weekend. I'm, with the weather being better, which is great, and we're going to get things done, which is awesome. Really happy for Sandy. Getting insulation into her walls, getting a vapor barrier up. I'll do a video of that. I'll show you guys that. So, so that's awesome. She's coming along on that. Like I said, again, guys, it is a process. Tomorrow, like I said, once we get our 3 bats in, okay, so she's got one more bat to get in after that. So that's awesome. But again, like I said, it's how many chickens do you have? Right now, I have 5 hens and 1 rooster that are full grown. We're going to be at stop with the chickens that were the chicks that we just got. We're going to be adding 10 more chickens. Now, Sandy got 15, so we have 25 chicks altogether. If all of them don't make it, we'll figure that out as we go. Hopefully they all make it. I just checked on them before I started the live stream, and everybody was looking good. And we're just kind of go from there. So that's that's where we're at with those guys. But and so you guys are going to probably ask, what happens if I have to run the generator, right? Because I got the heat lamp on right now. I brought another extension cord out that I'm going to plug right into the generator. So when I'm charging the batteries, I can run that heat lamp directly from the generator so that the chickens will be able to stay warm. That's one of the reasons why Sandy's going to take them, because she obviously has consistent power where, I don't want to have any problems and have the chicks die because it's too cold or the power goes out or anything like that. So, but yeah, our rooster's called Lucky, because he just showed up one day, and once he was here, then I'm like, well, we're going to get chickens, and uh, Paul and Barbara actually brought us 6 hens to start out with, and we had Wheezy, the black hen, and the other hens ended up bullying her because I think she was trying to sit, and if we had kept her here, they would have killed her. So Paul and Barbara took Wheezy back. She went into witness protection program, and she is now laying eggs again, and she's doing good with them. So, but yeah, so poor Wheezy, not so good. But yeah, Mr. Lucky, he showed up one day out of nowhere. I asked my neighbors that had chickens, "Did you lose a rooster?" They were like, "Nope." So I don't know where he came from, but there we go. Don said, "I just ordered 6 Rhode Island Reds, a rooster, and 2 Jersey Giants. I had to replace my old ones." What we're going to be adding here is four Rhode Island Reds. I think we're getting four. No, 3. Okay, so no, it was 3. I'm sorry, 3 Rhode Island Reds, 3 Australopes, and then 4 of the Easter eggers. So it's a little bit of a mix, which is kind of neat. So, but yeah, and you really should be reintroducing more hens like every other year. If it depends on what you're looking to get, if not every year. So, but they're pretty cool. So yeah, when we kill a chicken and it goes into freezer camp, yep, exactly. You do what you got to do. I, I I I hate to admit it. I'm a big softy when it comes to the chickens. When they stop laying, I don't kill them. I just let them die in natural causes. So I don't have the heart to do it. I mean, if I let's put it like this again, if it's SHTF and they've used their usefulness up, then they got to go and they go in the stew pot. And again, you would probably in a true SHTF situation, you're going to rotate your hens out like every 3 years anyway. That's what you would be doing. You'd be bringing in new hens every year, and doing that. So hopefully you would get some that would sit. If they don't sit, then you'd always say we have the incubators as another option, and just kind of go from there. So, but Yeah, just it's again, it's a process like anything else. But SHTF is a whole different kettle of fish than anything right now. So, but you don't want to get rid of them if you don't have to. And we don't call our older either. I have one that's 9 years old. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, like Thick Neck in New York. I don't think she's laying anymore, and she has got to be. That hen is 6 or 7 years old now. At least 6 or 7 years old. I'm trying to think. Let's see. We got the property in. No, she's got to be older than that because we've had the property in New York for over 10 years now, and I think it was after the first year that we were there that we got the chickens. So she's got to be 8 or 9. She's up there. We've had a lot of the old hens up in New York that just done. So that happens. So she has eggopaws, right? Thick Neck is a cool chicken. Well, that's why I had to get some more Easter eggers. I had to get some more. So that was a cool thing. So what are we at? 235 in the chat, guys. We got 158 thumbs up. So again, if you have not so far yet done so, please shoot us a thumbs up. I do appreciate it again. Again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms, and I thank you for that as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, thank you for doing so ahead of time. Um, what if one of the new birds is a rooster? Can you keep multiple roosters in the coop? You can. What'll end up happening is we used to keep two roosters up in New York, and one will have a tendency to dominate the other one. What happened up there, we had Goliath, and then we had Foghorn Leghorn, and Foghorn Leghorn got his butt kicked for years by Goliath. And then Goliath got old, and then Foghorn Leghorn became the top dog. And that's what happens. So pecking order, exactly. Yep. So and I was shocked when that happened with Goliath because he was a cool rooster. He was a real cool rooster. But he got they get old. That happens. So but yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just all part of the process that we all got to deal with. And but I'm excited for this weekend. Can't wait to show you guys the progress that we're going to make, what we're going to get accomplished. Um, Lots to do, but we'll get there. And actually, realistically, the projects that we have this weekend should not take that long. Probably the biggest thing that we got to do that's going to be time consuming is going to be the gutters. That's going to be time consuming. Getting the trees planted or the blueberry bushes planted shouldn't be bad. That shouldn't be bad at all. And like moving the wood that we got to move is not going to be bad at all. I mean, I think we may do that first because if we got all of us grabbing wood, you're looking at probably 2, maybe 3 trips a piece, and the wood will all be in the building, in the raven's nest. So, you know, that's an easy project because it's already stacked, it's already there. It's just a matter of going up and grabbing a bunch and carrying it in. So, that's so that should be pretty good. You know, the driveway, working on the turn more. A little more time consuming, but we'll be okay with it. I actually had someone steal a few of my hens, no paw prints or anything, just a mark on the part of the roof that was lifted. Ah, people are scumbags, Don. I mean, they are. What do you think it's going to be like in a true SHTF situation? You know, you're going to have, like I said, somebody guarding your chickens because that's your lifeblood. That's how you're getting eggs. That's how you're going to get meat, when you need to. And people are going to do whatever they can, and they're not thinking. They would go in and they would take the chickens and kill them and eat them, right? And then there goes your egg layer. You're not going to get any more eggs. I mean, to me, I want to keep those chickens alive as long as I can and let them lay and give me that egg a day or, and stuff like that. If you got, enough hens, you're going to be okay. You're going to have enough, to help sustain things. And again, all, every little bit, every way to have sustainability is going to be important. I wouldn't do meat chickens. It's easier just to go ahead and buy them in a store. The amount that you're going to pay for feed for a meat chicken, it's not worth it. If you actually do the math on it, it's just easier to go buy them at the store. So, but layers, you can get years and years out of a hen, in laying and stuff like that. So that's a good thing. We had young chicks several years ago. I went out one morning to feed them, and they were all gone. No feathers or blood on the ground. Didn't seem to be a struggle. Yeah, that happens too. I mean, like I said, people are crappy. They're just crappy. So, you know, it's and again, what do you think people are going to be like when SHTF happens? That's what you got to think about, because it's going to get ugly. It's going to get really ugly, and people are not going to be decent about things. So, we had to put cameras in our coop just for that reason. Isn't that sad, Bobby? Isn't that sad that you have to do that? That's it's unfortunate, but people will take advantage because that's what they do. So oh, absolutely. Beans and Beans said people will eat people if they have to. Of course they will. Absolutely. Without hesitation, that will happen. I don't plan on doing cannibalism myself. That's why I prepare. So I don't have to eat anybody. Now, I will tell you this, if it came down to it and I had to eat somebody, would I? You better believe I would. But because I have prepared the way that I have prepared, hopefully that will never be the case. I don't want that to have to be an option. I want to be able to make sure that we can produce as much of our own stuff as we can, and take care of our business and not have to do something like that. So, but yeah, like I said, people are they do what they're going to do. We just have to do the best that we can. So, anyway, guys, remember STD. Very, very important. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is going to be you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, set realistic goals, and then set about to making them happen. That's all you got to do, folks. Believe me, at the end of the day, when you do that, and you make your list, you start checking stuff off as you get it done, and it's amazing how quickly. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can just do it over time, and it comes together. So, I mean, look what we've done here. We've got a lot accomplished in a very short period of time. Now we have a long way to go, but we're going to get there. So anyway, be safe, keep prepping. I will be live streaming on Sunday, so definitely look for us then. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.